All the way back in April 2023, YouTuber and Red Arrow Addict, or Cookie God, posted a video where he tried to farm 1 million cookies in 100 Minecraft days. He failed. Pretty badly as well. He only got like 100,000. 4 months later, squeaky-voiced Jaren makes his own response video where he attempts the challenge for himself. He has a much more noble attempt. He actually achieved the 1 million cookies, but only by a bit. He almost failed. Jaren's strategy was mainly utilizing villagers, buying cookies in bulk amounts at discounted prices. I mean, I don't blame him. Trading 1 emerald for 18 cookies is pretty damn efficient. But while I was watching his videos, I kept getting this intrusive thought at the back of my mind. It just wouldn't go away. I couldn't help but think that Jaren is a cookie noob, and I could totally do better. After all, it wouldn't be the first time I've totally owned him. I've already beaten Jaren's pig breeding record, and I'm not going to pass on an opportunity to rub it in his face. That, and I already messaged him that I was going to beat his record without a plan. In fact, I said I would double it. 2 million cookies in like 100 days. So that's 33 hours, meaning I have to somehow make on average 1,000 cookies every 60 seconds, starting from scratch. I mean, that sounds impossible, right? But I have one thing on my side. I know how redstone works. Kind of. On my first day, I grabbed food from a nearby village and immediately headed to the coordinates of a mineshaft. You see, I have chosen a very special seed, one I have found specifically for this challenge. It has absolutely everything I need. In fact, I wrote down a large list of coordinates of all the dungeon loot in a 300 block radius around spawn. That's why I know that this mineshaft chest contains diamonds, as well as being a great source of string, which I'll need a ton of later. By day 2, I'd already gathered some iron tools and began digging out the plan for an iron farm, which is vitally important to make as soon as possible. For the cookie machine I've designed needs a ton of hoppers, meaning in total I have to gather 108 stacks of iron ingots. The iron farm I'm making only produces like 1,000 ingots per hour, which means the farm needs 7 hours just to gather the iron I need to start making cookies. Hence why I'm making it first, but also why I'm making it on spawn chunks, so it's always loaded, chugging away. Now, while I have 33 whole hours to do this challenge, in reality, I only have about 23 days to gather and build everything I need, as the rest of the time has to be dedicated to making cookies if I'm going to make the goal. So it was quite unfortunate that I only managed to make the iron farm operational after 6 days. I was way behind schedule. However, day 6 was quite efficient. Using my saved coordinates, I ran around to 5 dungeons and looted them for enchanted books, allowing me to make a diamond pickaxe with Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4, and Fortune 2, which will become instrumental much later. I had also started a chicken farm while building my iron farm, and I've been breeding them throughout this entire thing. Oh my god! What? I had 5 eggs. What is the actual chance of that? In fact, I'm going to keep breeding chickens up until I have like 600 of them. You could say it's inhumane to keep 600 chickens locked in this tiny pen. Well, of course it's inhumane. They aren't human. Day 7 involved me taking some of the produced iron so far and setting up a temporary base all the way in this large, lush cave. Here, I'm going to spend my next couple of days farming 50 whole stacks of moss with iron hose. This hoe has moss? Gross. I thought this would be one of the most tedious parts of my laundry list of obscene items, but gathering the moss was surprisingly fun, getting to absolutely tear up this natural habitat for my own industrious needs. What else could a pig dream for? But more importantly, while I was in this lush cave, I got super lucky, because I managed to run into 2 slimes while down here, gathering me 9 slime balls, which will be the catalyst for the slime apocalypse coming much later. By the time I was finished gathering all the moss and transporting it back home, it was already day 11, and it was high time for that diamond pickaxe I made to earn its worth. See, I needed to gather 32 stacks of redstone dust, so having Fortune 2 was essential. It's kind of the reason I chose this seed. So down into the mines I went, ready to mine a metric ton of redstone.
That is a real cool cave. Dude!
Legit? What a cool ass cave! God damn! In reality, I only got about like half the redstone I needed. I kind of got bored, so I just decided to get the other half later. I mean, it's fine. The redstone's not going anywhere, at least not for a couple million years. I instead went all the way back to the surface, mined some obsidian, and build me a nether portal. It's time to get spooky. And by spooky, I mean mining 11 stacks of quartz. These numbers are just ridiculous, man. Come on. It's exhausting. I mean, look at my face. I look like death. Well, while I mine all of this quartz, let me tell you about today's sponsor. Ha! I got you! You thought I was gonna do it, didn't you? I got you. After I gathered all of my precious quartz and gemstones, it was already day 14. Time was running out, and fast. I only reasonably had like 9 Minecraft days left of time, and I still had a crap ton of stuff to gather. Chief among them was wooden logs, which I needed 86 stacks! Come on! Luckily, a nearby village helped me a ton by donating their houses to demolish. I told their local council it would help support the local economy, and by local, I mean me. Next up was Redstone Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I tried to think of something funny or interesting to write for this section, but it was entirely uneventful. I mined some redstone. It's red, I guess? Day 19, I gathered 60 buckets of lava from a nearby pool. Surprisingly easy. I didn't think one small pool would have that much lava in it, but hey, I got what I needed. I also did some more tending to the chicken farm, which was really getting up there in numbers. The constant chicken sounds were becoming a bit of a headache though. They were becoming the background audience for my deranged inner thoughts of cluckercide. Days 20 to 24 was just spent gathering the final bits and pieces for my unholy machination. Some amethyst crystals here, some packed ice there, a bunch of cobblestone, I am going insane, and of course, slime. Slime? Gerg, how did you get the slime? Wow.
By the F3 menu, we have just over like 550 chickens here. And then when I splash them with this potion, we're going to kill them all. And this should make all the slime we need. We'll do one over here. Oh my god. Oh my god. What's happening? Oh my. This is really laggy. Oh my god. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Oh no. No. Come on. No.
After exterminating the last few surviving chickens and the few straggling slimes, I had done it. It was day 24 and I had all the materials I needed. I was only majorly behind schedule, but whatever. And while past Gerg suffers through constructing the cookie monstrosity machine, let me explain what exactly this machine I've been working towards is and how it's going to craft 2 million cookies. So unlike Jaren, who just used villagers and purchased all the cookies outright, we are actually going to be crafting them. Cookies are of course made from 2 wheat with a cocoa bean in the middle, and you get 8. But the immediate problem you run into is farming wheat and cocoa is all manual labor. I have to be here to place the cocoa. I have to be here to break it. I have to be here to replant the seeds. You can't automatically farm them, unlike something like pumpkins or melons. Meaning to replant the cocoa and the wheat, you have to move between them. You can't farm both at once. Or can you? Because I originally came up with this idea of if you position your cursor just right, you can place the cocoa bean and then you can place your wheat seeds off the side of the cocoa bean to place this. There's a concept for a nano wheat farm which uses light level 0 to automatically break the wheat while bone mealing it from 3 sides. So when the wheat is actually placed, it immediately grows to full level, and then when this piston retracts, the light level jumps to 0, breaking it instantly. So this is my modified version of that to work with cocoa beans as well. Once I power this up, I'm going to spam the F key to switch between the seeds, and then when I place cocoa beans on the back wall, it eventually places from the cocoa bean to the wheat in front of us if I position the cursor correctly. But this had a problem. Because as discussed earlier, it is not 1 wheat and 1 cocoa bean. No, you need 2 wheat. Part of the issue of this is, well, once you place the cocoa bean, you can only place 1 wheat seed once the cocoa bean is down. They are grown in equal proportions, when in reality, we need 2 wheat seeds for every cocoa. So then I came up with this idea of using an iron door. Once the iron door is in the open position, I click past the door and can plant the seeds. But then a redstone signal will close the door, and now when I right click, it will plant the cocoa bean off here. So this led to this version of the machine where the door is ratioed to open and close in the perfect way. Now, if I spam F, so I'm switching between the seeds, and then hold right click, you can see that the wheat is now growing, and then when the door closes, we'll actually have some cocoa spit out at us as well. From here, we just have some hopper minecarts that pick up all the drops it creates. It then sends it down a water stream all the way along here. The items then flow along some item filters. The first 6 are just entirely dedicated to wheat seeds, just to get them out the system. They're then dispensed into fire and destroyed. We have no use for them. The other 3 are for wheat, and the last 2 are for cocoa beans. These are then fed down through hoppers into a single crafter, and this is dedicated to all the cookies. 1 crafter genuinely will be fast enough. With 3 dispensers for the wheat and 2 dispensers for the cocoa beans, constantly every tick dispensing bone meal, this thing is going to use a ton of bone meal. In fact, we need to supply it with about 1,000 bone meal every 60 seconds. So it needs a bit of a small bone meal farm. This is something called a Chromos farm. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. Each one of these is an individual module, which I've just stacked on top of each other for a total of 30 modules. Now the modules are activated, you can see what they do. They're constantly getting new stone and then bone mealing it to turn it into moss, and then getting all the produced moss and then composting it for more bone meal. And the best part of this monster is it's fully AFKable. So while Cookie Guard and Jaren got bored playing their worlds, I can just sit back and relax. I win! Okay, so the entire machine is set up. We have all the bone meal. What I have just done is set up some macros. So what this is going to do is it's going to spam the F key while also spamming right click. If I open my inventory, you can see that I filled it with seeds and cocoa so that I won't pick up any of the spare wheat. I will activate the macros. So now, cookies should be being made. And now all I have to do is stay like this for the next 25 hours or so. You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time for a bit of a montage. A cookie making montage.
You and I, we've been going the distance, aiming for the sky, with a secret ambition. It's not a thing to walk the road that's paved. We're not the ones who roam the trail that's blazed.
Oh shit, I've burnt them.
There's a flame in your eye that's igniting mine. I know I've seen it before. In the gaze of a cloudy lion, I'm not afraid anymore. Let's break the rules and make sure that your heart is in its start line to finish. But every second rushing by, we're losing time. You and I, breaking free of our prisons, we defy the control of the system. The thunder's growing louder in our hearts. The storm is rising, this is where it starts. Let's break the rules. We're really put our backs into it, backs out pursuing. What's a better time than down across the line? For every second rushing by, we're losing time. We're losing time.
Hey! Day 100! Stop the macro! Woo! Stop it. Okay. Oh. Whew. So all of these are empty. I didn't get to fill out any of these, but we have this row, this row, this row, this row. All of these rows are filled to the brim with cookies. This section here is cookies. All of these rows, these are all cookies as well, and so is this section here. Our grand total after 100 Minecraft days is 1,227,841.
So whatever, we didn't get 2 million cookies. In fact, I was quite far off. I was really slow in gathering materials and building the damn machine, and I lost a ton of time in tuning it and sorting all the cookies into chests, which apparently is required for the challenge. But that doesn't matter, does it? I mean, sure, 2 million is in the title of the video, but you know what's more important than that? Beating Jaren's record, which I definitely did, and by a couple 100,000, mind you, a couple 100,000 cookies. And that's the real victory. Not achieving some arbitrary number, but winning through pure pettiness. So guess what, Jaren? I win.